What's going on, everybody? This is Danny Pogofsky. Today's video is going to be talking about seller closing costs if you're going to sell your home. If you saw our previous video with Yoni talking about closing costs for the buyer, this one's only going to be talking about the seller side. If you want to see the one on buyer costs, I'm going to link that video at the end of this video, and you can watch that as well. As always, click like and subscribe to our page. We release new videos every single week, educating people on buying and selling a home. So seller closing costs. What's it going to look like if you go to sell your home, and what are you going to walk away with? Now, I want to start this video by saying every single state has different closing costs for sellers and for buyers, all right? So this video is only going to be talking about closings in the Chicagoland area, whether it's a single family or a condo. Now, one of the first questions most sellers have is, what are they going to pay in overall costs? So to give you a general idea of total closing costs, on average, now this isn't set, you're going to pay between 7 to 9% of the sale price in closing costs. First big ticket item is the commissions to the agents. You're obviously going to pay the listing agent, your agent, to sell and market your home proactively to potential buyers. So to make that easy, let's say the agent's commission is 5% of the sale price. You're going to pay that at the closing table once it is under contract and once it closes. Now, the next big item is your property taxes. So if you're in Chicago, taxes are paid in arrears. So that means they're paid the following year. So when a buyer goes to purchase your home, on your contract, you're gonna see a tax credit, usually about 110% of the previous year's taxes. And that's just building in any increases that they might see for the following year. You're gonna pay your property taxes ahead because when the purchaser closes, they're gonna pay next year for the taxes, but they didn't live there. And any overages you have in your escrow account for your property taxes, if you're escrowing property taxes, you're gonna see a check come back a week or two after closing. Title fees. When you go to close, you're gonna have a title company run the closing and make sure the deal gets done with all the documents. I'm not gonna get into the specifics of title fees. There's a handful of them and every title company is a little bit different. But on the low end, we usually see title fees cost between $2,500 to $3,000. So another big expense on the seller closing costs are transfer stamps. So again, if you're in Chicago, sellers pay $4.50 per thousand on the sale price. Buyers also have their own transfer stamps. And again, every city is different, but in Chicago, you're gonna pay $4.50 per thousand in transfer stamps. So if you're selling your home, you're gonna wanna work with a real estate attorney to get you to the closing and make sure everything goes well. Attorneys usually don't charge hourly, they charge a flat fee, and we often see the seller attorney fees cost anywhere between $550 to $750 in total. This is one expense you don't want to skimp on because an attorney is a very important aspect of selling your home, which is one of the biggest assets you're gonna have in your life. All right, if you're selling a single family home, you're gonna have to pay to get the plat of survey to the buyer side. Now, the survey is pretty much an illustration of your property and the boundaries, just to make sure there's no issues with it and that the buyer gets to see it before they close. Surveys will usually cost a couple of $100s, and you're gonna pay that at closing. If you're selling a condo, you're gonna need a paid assessment letter, which shows that all of your assessments are paid and up to date, and the buyer's not gonna be responsible for anything you didn't pay before you sold it. Now, it's important to remember that some condo buildings will charge you to get the condo documents, so the bylaws, the budgets, the meeting minutes. That could cost you a couple $100s just to get it. But if you're in a self-managed building, usually you're gonna have those documents anyways, and it's not gonna cost you anything. Another expense are credits that you gave to the buyer. So you would negotiate this after the inspection's done. If the buyer asks for any type of credits or repairs, this is gonna be something you're gonna see on the balance sheet at the closing table that you're crediting to the buyer. You're not always gonna have a buyer credit or repairs, but it is common to see in some older homes, or if there's any issues on the inspection, usually you're gonna negotiate some type of seller credit or repair. And the last thing to think about, or maybe the first thing you thought about, is paying off your current mortgage balance. So the unpaid principal and interest, this is what you're gonna pay at closing. Your lender's gonna get paid off for selling the property, and you're gonna get any proceeds, or if you have to come to the table with money, that's where you're gonna bring the money to the table to pay off the remaining balance of the mortgage. So it's really important that you talk to your lender, your realtor, and your attorney to make sure everything is lined up for the closing and that there won't be any unforeseen issues. But if you want to watch more videos learning about the home selling process, click the home selling playlist right here to watch more, or the home buyer playlist up here. And click like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any videos coming out educating you on home selling or home buying. We make new videos every single week. Comment below or message us if you have any other questions or have topics you want us to cover. All right.